Hey everyone, Aiden here. Fourth time trying to make this damn video. As usual. I've had a pretty emotional day today. So, I'm just gonna share my story today and just, kind of let things out. And maybe it might help you out in some lines. If you were in the same situation as me. So, as many of you know, I work at a new age shop, and I was actually at the shop today working, and I spent a lot of time organizing books with a friend of mine and kind of, making it look fancy, essentially. And my shoulder was hurting. In fact, this one right here. Well, it's right for me, but so what the shop owner did for my payment was actually treated me to a 10-minute Reiki session with a guy who usually comes in and does energy healing, and I've never experienced Reiki, so I went into it. He had a nice little altar set up, and it was a nice smudged area, and it was really comfortable. And the first thing he did was did something which is known as an aura scraping, which is removing all the debris and addressing things that need to be addressed. And a lot of my chakras were disaligned because of mainly generational issues, and for the fact that I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. Well, I do. It's just buried. With positive affirmations, I do have it. I need to work on it. And one of the very first things he asked me was, "What are you hiding from your parents?" And it was my religious beliefs. And that's been really stressing me for a while, because my family is very, very Christian based, and invites me to church all the time. And is so intertwined with their community that I kind of feel left out, I guess would be it. And I tried coming out of the closet years ago, and it reacted very, very badly, and I was hurt by the situation. I really was, and it really hindered my self-confidence on being who I truly am around family and around loved ones in general. I'm very hesitant to talk about my religious beliefs in person, which is surprising if you think about it, if I'm making these videos. But if you were to physically meet with me and ask me my religious beliefs, I tend to fluff up my answer quite a bit, avoid a direct answer, and kind of, oh, I do a little this, a little that. I'm very spiritual, not religious, and that's not the truth. It really isn't. I try to avoid the truth because I feel so bundled up, and like I'm going to be rejected if I am speaking my truth. And you should speak your truth. I really believe that, and I just got so emotional with the release of it that actually just a little bit ago, after holding it all day, I called up my dad and said we needed to talk, and I came out and I went back and said, this event really hurt me. How you reacted really hurted me, because I felt like if I was different, I wouldn't be your son. You wouldn't accept me as that. And I just flew it all out and really said, this is really, really bothering me. And I really need to hear you say that you would accept me. And of course he did. He did. He really did. He said, we loved you no matter who you are, what you are. That does not matter. And both my parents knew I was Wiccan long before I told them. It was no surprise to them at all. And I was actually shocked that it was. But then again, I project myself pretty easily. I just think I'm hidden, and I overanalyze the situation. So, how can I put this into a vice? I guess the lesson learned here is that sometimes it's better just to speak the truth. Honestly, yeah, it's very scary coming out of the broom closet. It really is, especially if you live in conservative areas and your family is very Christian, not Christian, very, very religious or non-religious, very strong in their beliefs. And it's very intimidating to come out to your parents because there's always that fear that you're going to be rejected. But you're never going to know unless you do it. More times than not, your parents are going to accept you. They love you. You're their child. And yes, we hear stories about people being disowned, but I hear more stories about people being accepted by their parents and being loved by their parents. Yes, there are going to be some ground rules in my case. I'm not going to be wearing my pentacle around my family. I'm going to wear it underneath my shirt or wear my other necklace that represents a pentacle to me but is socially acceptable. And I'm not going to go and try to force my beliefs onto them. And they're going to respect my boundaries, and I'm going to respect their boundaries. And I firmly believe now, or I always did, but it always hesitated me a little bit. Family comes first. Honestly, they do. Yes, you need to express who you are, and you need to be open with your parents on who you are. And whether or not they accept you is their problem. You need to be true to yourself, and more times than not, they're not going to care. They're going to love you for who you are, and you're going to love them for who they are. I would never want my parents to change, just as much as they would never want me to change. I want them to be who they are, and I want to be who I am. So, if you're in the stage where you really, really want to come out of the broom closet, yet you're afraid to, take my advice. Just go out and do it. Don't wait until the next day. Don't wait until the perfect moment. Just free yourself. Just do it. And I'm telling you, you feel tons better. I was fucking crying as I was releasing every ounce of pain and sorrow and low self-esteem. I was charging every tear with that and just letting it go. And as soon as I got off the phone, I took a shower, went downstairs, had set up a small ritual on a bench in front of my dorm building, and I said an affirmation about releasing all these fears I have of not being myself, of not being who I am, not letting people nurture me and love them back because I fear of rejection. I released it all through one powerful ritual. And I'm going to make a change, and I feel liberated from telling. So I highly encourage you, let your truth fly out. Set yourself free. You will feel much better afterwards. And if you want some tips or want a little emotional support, message me. I will talk to you privately. You do not have to do any comments whatsoever, and I don't encourage it. But we can talk about it, and I'll give you the best advice I can. Thank you for watching this. Yeah, and I wish you good luck if you're in the same position. And yeah, I just want to let you guys all know that I love you all, whether or not you're a member of the pagan community or not. I love everyone, and you should have the right to be who you are, no matter what. With that saying, I wish you the warmest blessings and have a good night. Thank you.